Hello, truckin' friends. Making Maria, your independent Chalk Couture designer. Hello and welcome. Welcome, everybody. Hey there. Happy Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday. I always have to do that, like what day of the week it is. Isn't that crazy? Oh, I just tend to forget after a while. So welcome to my demonstration this evening. We are making a really, I hope, a really pretty circle board with our Welcome Fall, oops, it's upside down, sorry, with our Welcome Fall transfer. This is a D size transfer, so it is an 18-inch square transfer. Obviously our image is a circle, and we are going to put it on a very pretty wood circle board. So that is what we are making this evening. So let's get to chalking. I am Making Maria. I'm your independent Chalk Couture designer, and Chalk Couture is an amazing company. We are chalking the halls, walls, accents, and accessories of homes all across America and Canada. We were created to be designed, loved, and repeated for every season and any reason, and we bring easy, high-end DIY home decor directly to you. And we do that by offering reusable, adhesive silkscreen transfers, Chalkology paste, which is a chalk paste, Couture ink, surfaces, accessories, and all of it makes crafting easy, stress-free, and you will love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's super easy. It's super fun. Thank you, Cheryl. Well, hello, Cheryl. If you can, please send my video out into the world. It helps me tremendously. Even if you're watching the replay, you can still send me out there. So thank you for taking the time to do that. I very, very much appreciate when you take the time to do that. So let's get to it today. So I have this really pretty transfer, and I've been patiently waiting to make this transfer. It's going to be a little complicated because, you know, you got to go big or go home, right, Texas? Hello, Texas. Miss Lisa is here with us. We're going to try a lot of colors, and we're going to see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And there is even a copper shimmer in here. It's because I totally re-addicted to copper shimmer. I had forgotten how much I love the shimmer paste. Okay, so hello Carol, hello Linda, Cheryl is here, Lisa is here. Oh, and Linda squared. Hello everybody, welcome. So we're gonna make this super fun transfer, and this is just a wood, it's kind of thick, I bet you it's a good 1.5 inch thick circle board, which I stained. And oh hey Jan, I stained it white. I like white stain. A lot of times, to me, sometimes though it looks like it's just unfinished wood, but it is definitely lighter than unfinished wood when you stain it. But I've sanded this down, I've stained them. I buy them this way. It's not like, this is not a board that my husband cuts for me. I buy these wood circle boards just this way. Chalk Couture offers an amazing white chalkboard that's a circle with a gold frame, which would also be very pretty with this transfer. But for our purposes this evening, we're using this really cool wood circle board. So, how do you chalk? Well, the first thing you do is you need to have a surface. You need chalk paste, which you need to have your colors picked out. And once you have your colors picked out, what you do is, totally lost my train of thought. Yep. Oh, chalk. That's what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about chalk paste. So what is chalk paste? So chalk paste is a liquid paste, basically, that you're going to squeegee over our silkscreen transfer. So you're going to put your transfer down, you're going to squeegee the paste over it, and it's going to dry hard. So this is an example. This is dry, and it's hard. It's not going to go anywhere. And it's not going to go anywhere unless you want it to go somewhere. If you wanted to wash this board off, you could spray it with water and wash it off. And then you would have a clean chalkboard to make another project on. That's what I say, that we were designed to be loved and repeated for any reason in any season. The theory and premise behind the company was that you would have a chalkboard and you would change the image on the chalkboard seasonally or as your home decor moods changed. Like, for example, I like to change the colors and things. I like to play with things. So lots of people get a chalkboard and they just continue to chalk on the same exact chalkboard. That's the true premise behind the company. Lots of people do that, but I find the majority of people, once you create it, oh, it's hard to wash it off because you spent all those hours, not hours, minutes, really. You spent all that time thinking about it and creating it, and you don't want to wash it off. You just get another chalkboard and start over with a new project. I agree, Lisa, that Copper Shimmer is awesome. It's my favorite of all of the shimmers. Hey, Justine, welcome. Oh, and Jane's here too. Hello, everybody. Oh, hey, Jan. I don't know if I said hi to you yet, Jan. So welcome. So what I've got is I've got my board, I've got my chalk paste, I've got my transfer. I'm going to need a squeegee. I'm going to actually need several squeegees just because I'm going to do lots of different colors. You don't have to have several squeegees. You just keep wiping the squeegee off that you have. I just happen to have squeegees, so I'm going to use them because I've got them. So first thing I do is I flip my transfer upside down and I write the name on the back of it with a permanent marker. I do that for two reasons. Number one, I need to know which side of my transfer is the back, and that helps me know that. And it tells me which transfer goes on which backer. Now this transfer doesn't get cut apart. It's all one piece, so I don't, it's not as big of a deal that I write the name on it. But when you have transfers that have multiple pieces on them, it's really nice to write the name of the piece on the back of it, just because it makes it much easier than to put it away. Because our transfers are reusable. Best part. Well, okay, other than they're stunningly gorgeous. They do wash off. Yeah, they're reusable. Boy, I'm losing my train of thought a lot tonight. They are reusable. So you're going to put it back on its backer sheet when you're all done, and then you can store it that way. And then you can recreate with this. So I'm very carefully pulling my backer sheet off because I do not want my sticky part to stick to itself. And as you notice, it's very sticky. So I don't want it to touch. If it touches, I risk putting holes in my transfer or stretching my transfer when I go to pull it apart. So you do have to be careful, and this is a larger transfer. So you definitely, think it through your steps in your process before you start doing it. So I have it sticky side up right now because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called fuzzing. And fuzzing is taking, and this is a big transfer, so my Chalk Couture fuzzing towel is too small. I take a big old bath towel, I stick it to the sticky part. Now it's stuck, okay? And what I am doing is I'm picking up the lint from my towel. By picking up the lint on my towel, it's making my transfer not as sticky. By making it not as sticky, when I go to put it on my wood surface, it's going to be much easier to pull off. It doesn't have to work as hard because it's not as stuck. The more you use your transfers, they do lose a little bit of their stick. Not a lot, but they do lose a little bit. So fuzzing isn't, you don't have to do it as often and as many times as I'm going to do this one. Once you've used it several times. This is a brand new transfer. So I'm going to fuzz it a few times, and I'm realizing I forgot to wax my board. So this is what you do not want to have happen. You don't want it to touch itself like that. When it's in a little corner like that, it's not a big deal because there's no silk screen there. So I'm picking up the lint from my towel. Now I'm going to stick it to my towel and set it aside because I forgot to wax my board. Anytime you're going to chalk on a surface that's not a chalkboard or a Chalk Couture, really anything that's not a Chalk Couture surface, and there's a few Chalk Couture surfaces that you do wax. What waxing does is it puts a barrier between your surface and your transfer, so your transfer doesn't have to work so hard when you pull it off. And you can, just by any finishing wax, Chalk Couture does sell a wax. It comes in little like chopstick type containers that you can also use to wax. But I like the bigger container because I wax all the time. So that's why I use, doesn't matter the brand, just needs to be a finishing wax. So you open up your wax container, you take a rag, and you designate rags for wax because you don't want to put these in the laundry with your regular clothes because the wax comes off in your dryer. learned from experience, the wax comes off in your dryer as it heats up on your other clothes, which, you know, you don't want your clothes to have wax on them. So use a designated towel for waxing and wash them separately from your other clothes. Oh, the funny things that I learn as I go on this journey. Okay, so I'm just applying a very light coat of wax. I'm not doing a thick coat. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. And while it is sitting for a minute, again, if you can send me out in the world, helps me tremendously. So I appreciate it when you do that. If you are interested in seeing these products, how you would do that, oops, wrong one, is you would go to www.chalkcouture.com/MakeingMaria, and you'd be able to see this project. This transfer is called Welcome Fall. It's a D-size transfer, so it's an 18-inch square. Our image is a circle. It's an 18-inch square, and it's $29.99. Yeah, that's how much these are. They're $29.99. And you can use it, they say 8 to 12 times. If you take good care of it, and depending on what kind of surface you put it on, you can probably use it more than that, but that's how many times the company says that you can use them. So I have my wax on my board, and it's time for me to buff it off. So I just take, again, I have these microfiber towels that I use for waxing, and I just buff. And I don't do it on my surface because you really jiggle when I buff. You are going to lay it down on your surface because trust me, it's much easier to buff when it's flat on your surface versus holding it up in the air. But I'm just buffing off my wax. And you'll notice as soon as you wax, it has a completely different feel to it. Hey Terry, welcome to our chalking party. Hey Debbie. Oh, hey Maddie. Did I tell you congratulations on your new job? If I didn't, did I tell you that last night? I think I told you that last night. Congratulations on your new job. Okay, so I pull my transfer off of my towel and I'm going to lay it on my surface. And again, this corner really wants to stick to itself. Now there's no silk screen here, so I'm not super worried about it sticking in this corner, but I definitely don't want the whole transfer to do that. So what I want to do now is I want to center my project. There is, at the moment, there is no hanger on the back of it, so I don't have to worry about am I chalking upside down? Which y'all know me, my faithful viewers know me. I do have a tendency to chalk my project and then flip it over and find out that I chalked on my chalkboard upside down. So always check, where's your hanger? Is your hanger on the top? Is it on the side? Is it in the spot you want it to be before you start chalking? But this one doesn't have the hanger on it yet, so I'm not worried about it yet. This is when I wait for my college son to come home and say, hey, welcome home. Can you drill some holes for me? So I'm pushing down my transfer and I'm getting out all my air. Okay, I'm making sure that I'm kind of in my center of my board. Now, you can completely and totally pull out your ruler and center it. I am not that much of a centerer or a ruler person. I'm a wing it, fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. So I tend to not measure. I like to live on the wild side and be a rebel. It's hard. The nice thing about waxing it is it doesn't stick so hard to your surface as you're trying to get your project where you want it. Okay, so again, I'm pushing out all my air. Now this transfer is very detailed and very intricate, right? It's going to have amazing detail to it when we're all done with it. But it's also a lot to do. So we're going to do this in stages. So I'm going to show you tonight how you handle a big transfer that you want to do multiple colors on, and you want it to work the first time. So chalk paste dries super fast, and you don't have a lot of time. So I can't take my time and, putz with this. Once I start putting chalk on my project, I'm putting chalk down and I'm going. I'm not getting distracted. I've thought through what colors am I doing where before I ever start. My chalk pastes are all stirred up and ready to go, and I'm good to go. Once I start putting chalk on here, I do not stop, typically. I have to get very distracted, and that's a bad thing. Oh, look, squirrel. Happens to me all the time. So I open up my chalk paste, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stir them up. You want them to be a yogurt, sour cream-like consistency, and you stir them because as they sit, the pigments of the colors separate. That's the main reason, is you want to mix up your color, just like you would, you know, stir up any kind of paint that you were going to use or shake if you had a shaker. The other reason is you want it to be a yogurt sour cream consistency, and this helps tell you if it is or not. Now we are going to use a lot of colors. So just stir them all up, and that papaya and copper are very close to each other, so I may rethink that choice. So far I have not had to add any water. My paste colors are all the right consistency. If they seemed a little dry or they seemed a little, you know, tough to stir, I would take a spray bottle, any spray bottle, and you just spritz it a little bit with water, and then you stir it back up. Oh, Maddie, I'm so glad that's your dream job. Oh, that's fantastic. It takes a very special person to work in a school with kids, I think. Just like it takes a very special person not to kill them after school while they're doing their homework. Not that I had that problem today at all. No. Maybe a little bit. But, you know, they're all still alive. They're in bed. Okay, so push my transfer down. I don't have any air in it. It's time to start thinking through my color choices. So what in my mind I'm doing is I really want to do my pine cones in the copper shimmer because I think they'll be really pretty shimmery. I was going to do my berries in the currant jam. So that's my kind of maroony red. I was going to do our Welcome Fall in papaya, but we might do copper. Not sure on that one. And then I wanted to alternate my leaf. Oh my goodness, Maddie, it's a middle school? Oh, you are a saint. Holy cow, you are a saint, Maddie. Middle schoolers are a little challenging. Whew, good luck to you. Bless you, Maddie. So I wanted to do some little alternating with my leaves and do some in our curry color, which is kind of a mustardy yellow, and some of them in pesto, which is kind of a, you know, army green. I don't know what other color you'd call it, army-ish green. So I just want to go back and forth with the leaves. So I'm going to do this project in stages, and I'm going to do what's called paste and pull, which is a technique that you use when you want to do things in multiple colors. So I'm going to get my squeegees ready, and this is lots of little tight spaces in here. Cheryl says Maddie. Maddie's young. Oh, Cheryl, that's funny. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool, which works like a pencil. I'm going to move this over so I'm not in your corner, either that or I need to move myself to the other corner. And I'm going to go in here like a pencil and get those little berries. And then I'm going to take a mini squeegee and I'm going to do my pine cones in copper. And I'm probably going to use another mini squeegee, and get my leaves. Okay? Again, what I'm doing is I'm thinking through my colors, my squeegees, my choices, everything. So before I'm ever starting with chalk, I know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to concentrate on the wreath first, and then I'm going to do the words. And I'm doing that because I'm not sure if I want to do copper or papaya for our words. So I kind of want to see how the colors look before I commit to what color my center is going to be. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to start with the little guys just to kind of, I'm just thinking it through. I'm going to start with the little guys because I want to, let's try this. There we go. Now you can see better. I want to start with the little guys just because there's going to be more detail in there, and then I'll go back. So I've got my currant jam all stirred up. I just dip my squeegee in, I load it up with chalk paste, and I just start chalking. I'm careful not to put too much paste down with these little berries. And I think we could alternate the berries. Like I think some iced coffee, which is kind of a off-white, kind of a browny, creamy color. Berries in that color would be really pretty too. But I didn't think they would show up so well on my white board. So I know you're commenting because I saw my screen move up. And I'm sorry, I'm going to focus on my berries and then I will read your comment. Because these little guys are tight in here. It's very easy to to chalk on a silk screen that you didn't want to chalk on. So I'm just going through and I'm doing all my berries. So if you are new to me, thank you for watching my live. I'm Making Maria. I'm an independent Chalk Couture designer, which is an amazing company. We kind of went through that spiel already if you're just starting to join us. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy. It's very stress-free. Okay, so I did my berries. Now I'm going to pull. So all I do is I pull it up and I have a lot of very funny looking little berries. Now I could wait, and I probably should wait because I pulled it all up already. I'm going to wait for it to dry, and I'm going to lay my transfer right back down. I'm going to help it with a little air, but I'm going to point my air away from my transfer because unfortunately this is a heat gun, and I do not want to melt my transfer with the heat. This is like an embossing tool, so it's way hotter than like a hairdryer would be. If you're going to use a hairdryer, which is what most people do and what I recommend you do, you don't need the heat at all. You just need the air. Okay, so now I just lay my transfer right back down and I push it all back down again. And now I don't have to worry about my cute little berries drying. So again, this is a big project. You just take it slow and you do it in stages. You can completely take your transfer off and wash it in between if you want to. So I could have done all my berries, but I don't like the pressure. I like to, you know, take my time and talk to you guys and not have to worry so much. Oh, hey Janine, welcome. Okay, so next I'm going to move to, I'm going to do the leaves next. And again, I want to go back and forth between doing a yellow leaf and a green leaf. Or do you think that'll look funny? Should I just do one color leaf? I don't want to hot mess them. I know there's techniques I could do to kind of make them variegated looking, but this is a big project, so I don't want to do that. But I could, I'm just going to willy-nilly go back and forth between green and yellow. What do you think? Cheryl, what do you think, my color girl? Okay, so while you're thinking, I'm going to wash off my squeegee. Because you always wash your squeegees off in between, and it's much easier to wash your squeegees off when they're wet versus when they're dry. I know for sure I'm going to do pesto, so I'm going to start with just doing some pesto ones. There's a delay in when I say it to when you hear it, so I'm just going to start with some pesto ones and wait for you guys to talk to me. And again, I should probably go back to my smaller squeegee. So again, this is just, you know, it's a lot of detail work, this guy. He's gonna, if it works, if I can do it right without messing it up, it'll be beautiful when it's done because of all the color. And they're very fall, pretty colors. So you just keep going around. I don't want to do my pine cones. I need to keep telling myself in my head, because once I start, it's very easy for me to keep going and forget what I didn't want to do. Terry says both colors. Thank you, Terry. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple. I'm not going to do a ton of the yellow ones, but just a couple, you know. So it kind of looks like, oh, the colors are starting to turn, right? And I really probably should do the sticks brown instead of green. But again, that's too much detail work for a live. I could do that if I was not live. But, you know, sometimes you can only do so much. And you guys don't want to be here for hours. Although lately I seem to be tracking more than I usually do. So I'm just, again, getting in here and getting all of them. Now this will dry relatively quickly, so I'm not going to be able to do the entire space like I did with the berries. I'm going to have to go in sections. But it's not hard, it's not taxing, you know, it's just thinking it through. And it's chalk. It washes off. So if you mess it up, there's no pressure. You just wash it off. And yes, this is a wood board, but because I waxed it, it'll wash off. And if I could always paint it if it turned out a way I didn't like it. Because sometimes when you have the red pigment, it leaves the pigment behind when you go to wash it off. Okay, so one of these guys has got to be green. What'd Cheryl say? I was multitasking and didn't hear your question. It was a color question, Cheryl, as to which color should I do my leaves in. Should I do them in 2 or should I just do them in 1? But we agreed, Terry and I. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it up. Oh, look how pretty that's gonna be. Oh my goodness. We're gonna love this. Okay, so I can very carefully put my transfer back down. And the only part I need to push back down are the parts that I have not chalked yet. Okay, so I just pushed my 2 leaves I want to make yellow. And I'm going to grab another multi-purpose tool. And I'm just going to make these guys yellow. I'm totally addicted to curry. And it's grown on me. Like at first I was like, oh my gosh, that's an ugly color. It looks like baby poop. But it doesn't look like baby poop when it's done. It's beautiful. Absolutely positively beautiful. It's just this really nice mustardy color. And after I, you know, was kind of not being very nice about it and saying it looked like baby poop, I realized this is the color that's kind of all over my kitchen. This and the current jam color are the colors that are all over my kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more because I have the yellow out. And then again, I'm going to go back and do my green. I really don't want to do like every other. I don't want them to be so, you know, perfectly symmetrical. I want it to be willy-nilly. And as long as my yellow is not drying yet, I'm going to keep going. Once it starts to dry, then I'll pull my yellow. The multi-purpose tool is a very good tool for this. And I will tell you, it's a very nice squeegee to own because it does work like a pencil. So it makes it much easier to get in little spaces. Okay. So I think we'll get one more yellow one in here. We'll do this one yellow, and then I'm going to move on to green. But I'm going to pull it in between. And that's what makes this so stress-free. You could do this transfer without doing the pulling if you did it in one color. But I would say if you do any multiple colors on this transfer, you need to pull it. Oh, this is going to look good. Okay, so now we have our yellow. It's going to look very fallish. This is going to be pretty. Okay, so again, I just lay it right back down. Pushing down my pine cones because we still need to get our pine cones. We're going to do those last. Pushing down all the green parts that need to be green so that I don't have any air. Air is not your friend. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. I'm going to wipe off my squeegee just because as your squeegees sit, they start to dry, and I don't want chunky, you know, again, this is a lot of detail work, so I don't want chunky dried up paste on the end of my squeegee. And now I'm just going to do these guys. I totally think we should have done the branches in brown. So the next time I make this transfer, that's what I will do. I also think this transfer would be very pretty with the hot mess technique because the leaves could look more variegated then. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, that you can, if you're curious about the hot mess technique, you can search my videos on this page, or you can go to my YouTube channel and search my videos, and you just search hot mess. And what hot mess is where you just kind of dial up all kinds of different colors everywhere, and then you swirl them together as you chalk, and it makes a very pretty, almost, camouflage is not the right word, but I have yet to come up with really what is the right word. Tie-dye is not the right word either, but it makes a very nice effect when you swirl the colors together. Because I haven't really done it yet and, you know, made a color I didn't like. It's not like I've done it and made brown like I did the other day when I was making splash techniques. I made a lot of brown the other day. My daughter wanted to get really creative with lots of different colors, so we were playing with it and having fun, and next thing you know, we had a lot of brown. Okay, so I'm almost done, and I'm almost ready to start with my copper shimmer. So I would tell you that this is one of my more time-consuming projects. You know, usually I can chalk something pretty quick, but we're doing a lot of color. We're getting very detailed, so that's why it's a little bit longer. And if I don't do all my yapping, for you guys it doesn't really take longer. It's just, you know, less Maria yapping and more chalking. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up. Oh, this is going to be so pretty when we're done. Oh, I can't wait to see the copper next. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Wow. Love it. Absolutely, positively love it. Okay, so I lay it back down, and I push my pine cones down, because that's all I have left in this section. Now I grab my copper shimmer. I'm going to use a little squeegee, see if we can. I'm going to use a mini squeegee, and I'm going to stick my copper shimmer. So what the shimmers are is, it's not glitter. It's too big. It's they just have a sheen to them, but they're not like super shiny like glitter would be. It's just a very subtle effect that looks super cool, and I love the copper. It is my go-to shimmer. The silver is my second favorite copper. Well, maybe not. We have a new one with red shimmer. The red shimmer is super pretty too, which will also be very popular this holiday season, I'm sure. I love the silver shimmer. I am just not a big fan of the cleanup of the silver shimmer, because sometimes it leaves shimmer all over your water bath. So just a little extra cleaning of my transfers when I have to use this. But for some reason the copper doesn't do that. I don't know why. If it's a difference in the grit of whatever the, you know, the shiny part is, the shimmer part is. But the shimmers are very fun. And what's also nice about the shimmer is they're kind of timeless. You know, they're not seasonal colors. You can use the shimmers all year. Where sometimes, like the greens and the reds, the yellows, those colors change as the seasons change, right? We have a bright yellow in the spring, and we have this muted mustardy color in the fall. So the colors do change. Whew. All right. We've got all our copper shimmer down. Just making sure I don't have any lines in my paste. And I'm going to pull her off. I wish you could see the shimmer. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see the shimmer. You'll be able to see the shimmer when it dries. And I'll hold it up so you can see it. Oh, I am so in love. Now what a friend of mine does, in case she's watching, I have a wonderful friend. She takes a little daughter. If I can find mine, I'll show you what I mean. And here it is. So she has a little dot tool. Let me get it so it focuses. See how it has a little pointy end on it with a ball? You can stick that in your white paste, and we could totally go back in these little berries and put little white dots, or it doesn't have to be white. I don't know what these tools are called, but they're like dotters with paint. But you could totally put little tiny dots with your chalk paste in your berries to even give the berries a little bit more dimension. Thank you, Carol. I love this too. This is going to be a fave, I think. When I'm all done, we're going to love this transfer. So our big question is, should we make our words papaya or are we going to make them copper? And I think we're going to wait. Again, we're going to wait till we're all done to do the words. I'm going to move this a little bit. Oops. So I have a little more room. Push it up a little more. And oops, sticking my finger in my face. Now we're going to start on the bottom. And we started with berry, right? I need to wash off I've used all my multi-tools. I need to wash my squeegee off. We're going to start with our berries again. We're just going to keep going with our little berries. The berries would be, I mean, there's so many things I think color-wise you could do with this transfer. I would imagine because of all the detail in it, just black and white would be stunning. You know, a white paste on a black chalkboard, or even a like a white canvas with black chalk paste. I have a very strong fondness for navy blue. It'd be pretty in navy blue. I just think, you know, this is just one of those iconic transfers to me that you can do in so many different ways. And that's what I love about the fact that you can reuse them, because I don't want to make it just one way. I want to play. I want to try different things and do different techniques. So then the question becomes, what do you do with them, right? Once you've made them all and you've got 5 of these. Well, my neighbors get them as gifts, or I sell them at craft fairs, or I sell them to people like you guys that watch me. You can put them on like marketplaces. You could have a crafting garage sale and sell them out of there. You could do a craft fair booth. There's all kinds of things you could do. When you have a love for making things, there's all kinds of things you can do with them. I also tend to donate them to auctions. This would be a really pretty auction one, but I'm keeping this one. This one's for my house. I need a fall one for on my mantle. And I like these circle boards on my mantle because they hold up. They stand up nice against I have like a land and stone fireplace. They stand up really nice on my mantle. So I'm just, again, going around. And I know you're commenting again. I'm sorry. I will focus on your comments in just a minute. Okay, so I don't think I missed any. Because sometimes I do this, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed a berry. Okay, oops, I missed a little screen on this one. Okay, I'm just going to pull my berries off. Now I go the opposite direction. Ooh, Carol, you're talking about my papaya. If you do papaya, I think the color is a little bit more intense compared to the shimmer, so it would stand out more. That's a good point. That's true. My only worry in that is I don't have papaya anywhere else. But what we could do is we could do Welcome Fall in papaya and then always give thanks in the copper. That might work too. Okay, so I lifted it up and now it's time to go back and make sure everybody's back to being stuck down. Because I don't want air. I want to make sure that everybody is down good. I don't have to push the whole thing down because I like this part, I'm going to lift it up again. So I'm not worried about that part as much as I am worried about, you know, my little leaf guys. Okay, so next, we're going to go back to time to do green. So I get this question often, like how quickly do you have to wash off your transfers? Do you have to put them in a water bath? And the answer is no, you don't have to do that. I have had transfers that I've either, you know, chalked with you guys and it's gotten late and I'm tired and I hang up with you guys and I go to bed. And I've washed the transfers the next day. I had a transfer one time I totally forgot to wash, and it was like a week, and I washed it off, and the chalk paste comes off because it's no different than your chalkboards, right? You can chalk on your chalkboard, and you can sit on your chalkboard for months, and then you can wash your chalkboard off. So don't, you know, stress out about your transfer and the paste drying on your transfer. The only real thing you have to worry about the paste drying on is while you're chalking. You do have to worry, obviously, about it drying on your project on the screen before you go and pull your screen. So what I did, if you notice, and I know it's very hard for you to see because you're kind of far away from it, but down here is this banner, and I made a little line. I did not chalk that green because I don't want the banner to be green. I'm going to do the banner in a color. Probably copper would be my guess. If I was a betting person, I would tell you we're doing it in copper. So I'm just getting in here and getting my stems done. And I would say that's my regret in this. I should have added the brown. We should have done the leaves in brown, or the stems in brown. It would have taken longer, but it would have been worth it. And brown isn't brown. It's called bark. That's its real name. So if you're looking at the catalog or you're online checking this stuff out, brown is not brown. It's called bark. Again, I'm trying to go willy-nilly with my, which ones am I going to make yellow? I don't want a ton of yellow, but I want enough yellow. You know, I want the majority of them to be yellow. I just want it to be like the leaves are just starting to turn. So it's not every one. I'm getting all my little stems so I can go back and make my yellow leaves. Okay, I think timing-wise I'm still okay a little bit, so I can keep going, but I am getting close to that banner, and I need to remember that I don't want to do that banner. I want to leave it to be a color. So sometimes when you're doing that, again, I get chalk happy and I just start chalking and then I forget. So I recommend, and this is one of those, you know, don't always do what I do, but do as I say. Like I tell my kids all the time. I recommend I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, I got concentrated because I started thinking about yellow. Train of thought was around leaves or areas. Oh, I recommend going and doing the area, right around the area that you know you don't want to do. Okay, so again we pull. Get my green up. Lay back down. And I'm going to do my yellow in this section. And then go back and do the green. I could do a little more, you know, I could keep going with the green and then do it all, but I'm going to do it in smaller sections. Okay, so I think we agree Welcome Fall is going to be in papaya. And then we'll do the Always Give Thanks in copper. That way, I get my copper. But I agree that the Welcome Fall will stand out better if I do it boy, I'm losing my train of thought a lot tonight. Sorry. I'm concentrating so hard on doing my leaves. Oops, I totally forgot to do that green stem. See? That's what happens. So don't do the stem, Maria, because it needs to be green. So I gotta go back in here and get my little stem green, or I'm gonna make a mistake and I'm going to make it yellow. And then I'll have one little yellow stem and that's gonna look silly. My yellow. I know you're all on the edge of your seat like, can she accomplish this without smearing colors? This is a big project. In fact, I was talking to one of my friends the other day and she made this project and she unfortunately got a little frustrated with it. But it's one of those where you just gotta go slow, take your time. Sometimes, you know, chalking is easy and sometimes gets a little harder. Just kind of depends on, are you tired? When you're doing a project like this, you know, it's a big one, but it's well worth it. Well worth it. So as long as my yellow's not drying, again, I'm going to keep going. Because I'm not doing as much green as I'm doing yellow, that's why I have the time to go farther with the yellow than I did with the green. It's because I'm not doing the stems, I'm not doing as many leaves in yellow. So I have that luxury of being able to go a little farther with it. Okay, and again, I don't want to do every other. I don't want it to be too samey, matchy. Just doing my leaves. Okay. So, I'm going to pull. That's what I need to do. I need to pull. So these leaves do have natural distressing in them. And you'll see when you look at your transfer that it has little tiny green dots in your leaves. And it has that so that your leaves can have, you know, the distressing of being able to see the board underneath them. It's made to look that way. It's not something that you've done along the way. Whew, I need a drink of water. Hang on. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to do green. And I'm going to do the copper all at once at the end. I'm going to do the, oh, I suppose I have to do the papaya, so maybe I won't do that. We'll see. So again, I'm grabbing my green, I'm grabbing my multi-purpose tool, and off I go with my green. I have been waiting to do this transfer because I felt it was too early to do it. But, you know, the pumpkins are out. I did not put my Halloween sign out yet. I made this really cute trick-or-treat sign. I haven't put it out yet. Just because, all right, it really is only the beginning of September. But it's coming. Okay, and again, I want to make my line by my banner. I don't want to chalk my banner. So sometimes, even though your silk screen is meant to continue in the same color, you can change your color. You just chalk up to the line, and then stop with your chalk, and then you can switch your color around. It's very easy to do. Yeah, I think these leaves would be really fun hot messed too. Because I like that variegated look. We've done that several times on other videos where we've variegated our leaf color. So it's not just, you know, green. But I think we're kind of accomplishing that with the back and forth with the yellow. So I stained boards today. Lots and lots of boards for our little workshop next week that we're having. We are having a welcome porch sign board workshop on Tuesday that I'm so excited about. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about it. I have one more welcome board example to make. I know I need to stop. But I'm so addicted to these porch boards. I don't know why. But I have one. You know, I'm in love with our little skeleton guy. Absolutely in love with him. He's behind me if you don't know the skeleton guy I'm talking about. He's like right behind me. He's just so darn cute, and I think he would be adorable on a black, just him. I was going to do welcome with him, but I think I'm going to do one with just him on it. And maybe beware, or, you know, some spooky word. Something like that. So that will be my last porch board I make for a while, because I am totally addicted to them. I shouldn't say that. It's going to be my last one for now, because I have some really fun Christmas ones in my head I want to do. But we'll give those time. We'll let Halloween go by before we make any Christmas ones. I promise. I I won't make you make Christmas stuff. Well, okay, maybe a few Christmas things we'll make. Because do you know what happens tomorrow? I know some of you know because we were talking about it today. Tomorrow we get the catalog of all of the Christmas transfers that are coming. Okay, so I am getting distracted in my chalking world and I need to pull because I am drawing. Hey, Mary. Welcome to our chalking party, Mary. We're making a very cool, very fun, multicolored wreath. And my chalk paste did dry, and it was right here. So I'm just going to go right over it and see if I can't get it to go through. Sometimes when it dries on, you can't get the paste to go through your screen. Yep, it won't go through. Because it's dried on your screen, that's why it won't go through. There we go. Okay, so I have our leaves on the bottom. I'm going to keep going because I don't have that much green left to do. And yellow. Oh, I guess we got to do yellow too. I'm going to forget. And over here, we're not going to have any yellow leaves. It is amazing how forgetful I am. My attitude is, I used to say this to people all the time when I would take my kids places and I would inevitably, like, we'd go to my dad's and I would leave stuff behind. And I'm always like, you know what? I remembered the kids. That's really the important part. If I left a, toy behind, everybody survives. I have the children, which is the important part. Because all the rest of it is just stuff. Just stuff. We have too much stuff. And kids come with way too much stuff these days. And I totally fell into that myself. My kids we always had, toys and things for them to do because you didn't want them to be bored, and then you couldn't have fun because they were bored. And when they're bored, man, they make sure you know it. So, Maddie, you're teaching in middle school, if you're still here with us. Is it a certain grade? My daughter just started middle school this year. And our middle school starts in 6th grade. And I think you're in Tosa. So you're not that far away from me. And I don't know what years their middle school starts at. What grades? Okay, so I have all my green. Maybe we need to do one more green leaf. That might be too much yellow. Okay, so I got my green. I'm going to see if I can't knock out these yellow guys and then pull my green all at once. My green and my yellow at the same time. Because these little guys are just easy, quick little guys are just zing, zing, zing your chalk in. Oops, I missed a stem. So I need to go back and get my stem. And we have one more yellow leaf. I think this would be really pretty on a porch. Very similar to the porch board. But I'm putting it on my mantle. Oops, wrong color. I gotta go back and get this green that I missed. Okay. Thank you, Carol. I did miss some stems, but I think I got them. I think I got them all now. We do have lots of extra paste though. Okay, so pull up the rest. Oops, oh, it's a pine cone. Like there's a hole. It's because it's a pine cone. All right, so I've got all my leaves on. What we have left to do, is the pine cones and our words. Oh, I missed a yellow leaf too. I don't like to use my squeegees when they get gunky because it's hard to, thank you, Carol. I just saw that, Carol, thank you. It's hard when your squeegees get gunky and it's just dried up paste to get them to go through. So you do want to be, you know, every once in a while, just wash your squeegee off. Okay, so we're going to do pine cones next. These little pine cones, we're going to do our copper and our papaya. And I missed one stem. Oh my gosh, I keep missing stems. Okay. So, time to do my copper. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to try my mini squeegee. And I'm probably going to end up switching to my multi-purpose tool when it's time to get into little corners. Just because it's easier to get in without pulling paste. So what happens when you have paste like this that's not dry yet is you risk your squeegee going next to it and picking it up. Once the paste is dry, it's fine. But when your paste is wet, it's not fine. So I'm just getting my copper in, taking my excess off. We're probably going to pull the pine cones before we do the banner. Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. The copper or the shimmers give you a little extra time, but not much. It's not like ink where when you use ink instead of chalk, you get more time. You only use ink though when you're going to do a project that you want to wash, and you can heat set it, because ink is only permanent once heat set. And obviously you can't put a wood board in your oven to heat set it. Okay, so I got all my pine cones. I'm going to quick do my banner. So I'm just going right along my silk screen, filling it in with my copper, and I did get my copper on some of these stems down here because I'm trying to go fast and I'm not being as careful. So I need to slow down and be more careful because I don't want to make all my stems copper. Okay, I got all my copper down, and I do have it in places I don't want it. So we'll see what it looks like when I pull it off, and then I'll tell you how we fix that if it's someplace I really don't want it to be. Okay. All we have left is our Welcome Fall. Love it. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have outdone ourselves. This is so pretty. Oh, I wish you could see the shimmer. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is turning out so pretty. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so, or Kathy, sorry. Okay, so take a look. See how you can see the copper? Do we still think Welcome Fall should be papaya? Oh, it's a hard one to tell. Yeah. I think it should. We have this one leaf right here whose paste dried on him. So I am, again, going to redo him. Where'd he go? This guy right here. See if I can't get the paste to go through. He just looks a little distressed, which is okay. There we go. Now he's fixed. Okay, so we have Welcome Fall. We still think papaya, right? Yeah. Papaya soap ups. I agree, Carol. Okay. This will be the fastest part of the whole project. Because it's, whoo, one color and nothing to worry about. As I say that, and I'll do something and totally mess it up, right? So I just squeegee on my paste. Wine for welcome. Oh, Cheryl. you are right that the currant jam would have been pretty too. If we don't like this one, I'm gonna change it to, that's a good call, Cheryl. Currant jam would be pretty too. It's a really good call. I love this papaya color, but it is kind of close to the copper, just without the shimmer. And you know, I was getting ambitious and trying to use every color. Sometimes I gotta say, whoa, Maria, you don't need that many colors. Okay, are you ready? We're about to have the big reveal. And I gotta tell you, this never gets old. I have been doing this for over a year now, and it never, ever, ever gets old. Every time I pull the transfer back, it's as much fun as it was the very first time I did it. Okay, ready? Here's the big reveal. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. Is that gorgeous? Oh, it's so cool. Okay, so I'm going to dry it because you'll be able to see the colors more true when they dry. What happens with the chalk paste is when it's wet, it's shiny, so it has the sheen to it, and once it dries, then you have the true color. Okay. Oh, this is pretty. I am going to hold it up so that you can see the detail. And then I want to know, what do you think? Should we change this to currant jam, which is the red color? I mean, it would really pop then, because that's pretty much that's the darkest color on here. But take a look at our, I know it's very hard for you to see the copper. You can't see the sheen, but it's super pretty. Lots of detail. And see how my leaves at the bottom have a little distressing? You can kind of see that? That's because my paste dried as I was going. Okay. So this is our welcome fall. And it's only a few days away. Fall is almost here. So we can do welcome fall because it's almost here. So what do you think? Should we change this to currant jam? If I was going to change it to currant jam, I will wash my transfer off. And then I just lay my transfer back down and I chalk right over this color. I don't have to redo anything. I don't even have to wash anything off. Currant jam would look good too. Yeah, I think currant jam would look good. I think I would like this better if it was rustier, you know, more of a deeper orange, because it's very close to the copper. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm just wondering, would it be better if it was currant jam? I don't know the answer to that. We might have to think about this one. And then I might have to change it to currant jam, but this is really pretty. So, this is my video. Go for it, Terry says. Thanks, Linda. I'm glad you like it. So, in order to change it, I have to wash my transfer off, so I won't do that live. This was a long one. I appreciate you all sticking with me and hanging with me on this one, because it's just so pretty. It was worth the time, effort, and energy to make. So this is Welcome Fall. It's a D-size transfer. It's $29.99. It's on a wood circle board that I stained white. I'm Making Maria. I'm your independent Chalk Couture designer. If you would like to see this transfer, or order it, or call me, or do anything, you can go to www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. You can see all of the products that I've used here this evening, with the exception of the board, to create this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And again, if you can send me out into the world, if you've enjoyed this, I greatly appreciate it, even if you're watching my replay. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have an amazing Thursday. Oh, tomorrow's Thankful Thursday. We're going to have some fun tomorrow night. I have a workshop tomorrow night. I'm doing it in-home. Yep, Carol agrees with me. All right, so I'm going to change it to currant jam. We all kind of agree. I'm going to change it to currant jam. And then tomorrow morning when I post my picture, you'll see current jam instead of. So don't be surprised. Because, you know, sometimes I hit the end button and then I change things up on you. And then I'm sure you all look at it like, that's not what she did. I try to call myself out when I do that. But tomorrow night I have a workshop, an in-home workshop. We're doing pumpkins tomorrow night. So it might be a little bit later. I shouldn't be because it starts early, but just in case. Thanks, Justine. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Have a great night. Thanks for sticking with me. See ya.